I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everybody. It's going to get warm in here with all these people. First item on our agenda tonight is approval of the agenda. And I just had one thing to add under the President's report. I'm going to just quickly mention we did vote and hire a new superintendent for the CEDAL, and when I get to that, Mike's gracious enough to give us a little bit of Al's background. She and Mike are acquaintances. Anybody else have any other changes? No. Okay. So if somebody would make a motion.
I'll move to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
Roll call.
Motion by Munda, second by Wilson. Mr. Walls.
Yes.
Mrs. Conway.
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Munda.
Yes.
Mr. Drake.
Yes.
5 yes. Motion carries.
Moving down to recognitions. Look like we have a number of National Letter of Intent signers in here maybe tonight.
We don't have that group. I think this group is here for Devil Heck, but I do want to bring the board's attention to last week, a couple times a year, our athletic department is really proud of the fact that a number of our senior Blue Devils are committing to go on to not only study but to play their particular sports after Warren. And so last week, like we do a couple times during the year, we had over a dozen student athletes there in a variety of sports that were at their signing day. It's a really nice event. It's a way to have their families in and really a way for us to recognize their overarching commitment to being student athletes and how proud we are of them to taking it to the next level. So I just wanted to make sure the board and a good crowd tonight was aware of that particular group, and there's a picture of them. We host those events in our library here in the morning, obviously, because there's our senior students. But it also was really nice that some of our teammates of these students this last time filled the room and made it really fun. So it's an exciting event that we have a few times a year, and I just wanted to remind the board that those go on. And we can give them a round of applause, those young people. And I think a number of people are here for Devil Hack, and so I'm going to ask Mr. DeMore to come up and get us started off with some of our recognitions regarding our Devil Hack event and winners, and Ms. Lobitz.
Okay. Thank you all for coming tonight. For those of you who were at the Devil Hack, all of you kids in the room, you know what happened for 26 hours just a few short weeks ago, and hopefully you've recovered from that lack of sleep. I know it took me a few days. It gets a little bit tougher. The Devil Hack this year was once again an awesome event, and we had great participation and some incredibly innovative ideas. Hit the pause button. All right. And we're going to go into some of that detail and some of the student recognition and all the staff that are here too that helped out with it, because it's definitely an event that doesn't just happen with a couple people. It was a whole team of students and staff and community and business leaders that made it happen. But we'd have a very short 211-second video that kind of captures 26 hours as best we could.
right, good evening. I'm Rico DeMore. I'm the Director of Educational Technology. Kim Lovitz and I were the co-founders, planners of this great event. As you can imagine, a 24-hour event takes a great deal of planning like Devil Hack. We wanted to recognize a few students and staff members who made it a great success this year. We've been doing it for 2 years now. It's been a great 2 years. I got to start by thanking our platinum sponsor, Aruba, a Hewlett-Packard Enterprise company. They gave us a great deal of financial support to make this event even possible. So I'm sure that your students who came to it could tell you it was a great event. As you can see from the pictures, there was plenty of food and some different other things. As we go down the list, Carol Rogers was also very instrumental in helping planning, support, and helping to coordinate the building and grounds aspect and the maintenance and security. So your kids were safe, the facilities were clean. Along those lines, Jose Zaire and his team also moved a great deal of equipment at the Old Plain campus to have the event ready for the kids on Saturday and all the way through Sunday. And your kids were also very cooperative in the cleanup and the putting stuff back. We were out here by 1 o'clock, and it was all great help. So they spent 26 hours hacking, still had a little bit of energy to help clean up. So that was great. We did have a special visitor this year from the International Society of Technology and Education. Camilla, she's the managing program director of the ISTE conference, which hosts about 20,000 technology educators. This year it happens to be taking place in Chicago, so she flew out to see the event. She was very excited, very interested, had a great time. She also invited Kim and myself to plan their hackathon for their event this year in Chicago, so there will be another hackathon. Just won't be the Devil Hack for the people and the students who are attending the ISTE conference this summer here in Chicago. We also had other sponsors, both financially and different events throughout the hackathon. Sentinel One, Image Systems and Business Solutions, the McQueen Technology Group, Zebra Technologies, which is a very interesting story. Brian Darrow, who's a 2007 graduate, I believe, from Zebra Technologies, somehow got connected up with us because the way Zebra works is they put it out to their employees. He goes, "Oh wow, Warren Township High School is looking for somebody. I graduated from there." So Brian informed the kids and shared with the kids since he left here in 2007, became an engineer out of Southern Illinois, had his own startup, went well, sold it, and now he's a senior engineer at Zebra Technology. So he was a great influence to the kids. He also wanted me to share that he was one of the first student board reps for the Board of Education. So I said, come on back anytime. I'm sure they'd love to hear from you. We got Hacker Earth, Outpost CrossFit in Gurnee, did a yoga session and a little tug of war, so we did a little mind-body spirit at the event. The Gurnee American Legion Post for the second year has been a tremendous sponsor. We appreciate Jim Heisel and the Gurnee American Legion Post 771. Gurnee Grays Lake Mathnasium, Quest Food Service, and GHA Technologies. So those were the people who made it all possible. The rest of the stuff here I'll share with you. There's two sets of teams we are not recognizing here tonight, but we wanted to make mention. A team from Grand High School won what we call the Rafael Soto Award, which was awarded to a team that most closely represents respect for every participant, moral ownership, and creates a culture of open communication while displaying honesty and integrity during the hackathon. And that was a team from Grant High School. They got their awards, and they're probably enjoying them right now, hanging up in their tech office and in their lockers. MTG also gave what was called the Innovation Award, and that went to a group of Warren Township High School students. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Elizabeth, it was an app for teachers to communicate with other teachers, sort of, for the lack of a better term, like a dating app, but just more information exchange. They try to match up a biology teacher with a biology teacher. Facebook for teachers.
I think we got it.
Yeah. There's no swiping going on. And then we had the MTG Innovation Award went to that group, and that was an award to recognize a team that brought a new idea by using out-of-the-box syncing during our hackathon. So we had those two nice awards. And then we got, obviously, some people we'd like to recognize up front here before we give the first, second, and third place announcement. We just mentioned Elizabeth, who corrected me on what her app really was. She was the lead student planner, her and Jessamine Lopez. Without their two help, we probably would have not got the second one off the ground. So they took their role seriously, so we'd like to kind of recognize them and give them the certificate here for. And then we have another one for Tyler DeTore and Dylan Richards, who are student planners. They helped us with the different aspects of the event. Tyler wanted me to tell you he was in charge of the electronics, the electrical connections. He made sure they were all tested and ready to go for the event. So thank you. And you know what, Tyler, I'm going to be honest with you. We might have to get your certificate. But here, it'll look like this. So then we have, oh, there it is, there it is. Okay. And one of the last of the planners, who's a graduate here of Warren Township High School. He's been working in the department with us a little bit part-time here. Mustafa Ahmed. Without him, none of the technological stuff would have worked. The live feed is basically his responsibility, so we want to take a second to thank Mustafa for everything he's done. All right, and I'll call these up in a group because they're from the department. Jean Ferrara and Denise Carr, again, they put up with all our crazy ideas, all our technical requests, and Denise was the most important one because she's the one who got all the reception of the items that we needed to pass out and the crate that came on the day of the hackathon. And then I'm just going to read these off because I don't know if they're all here, but you know, the other ones we want to make mention to is Sandy Ritker was there 26 hours with us. She went the long haul. She was one of those. Beryl Washington came for the 2 o'clock to 8 in the morning shift. She volunteered for that. Or maybe she was there about midnight till about 8. Cheryl Parmenter did a great presentation for the kids at the beginning of the event to get them ready. Sophia Rosa, like I said, works in the department and also put together mind-body stuff. And then obviously we got Detective Jack Metcalf, who was there for a good portion of the late evening hours, but he also arranged, I think, and we want to thank the police chief at this moment in time too. I think we had every Gurney cop that was on duty at least stop by and visit and see what was going on, so that was great. So Jack and Sandy come up and visit.
Also did a great presentation on technology and policing and spoke a lot to social media use too. It was great.
And you saw him working at a computer. That was Jack Metcalf. That wasn't trick photography. I'm going to give the stack of these then to Ms. Lovett so you can grab the awards. I'll read the first place team off. If one of you would like to give a 30-second description of what you did, 30 seconds, we got to be in and out. We'd love to hear it. But I think it was a pretty good idea, like all the ideas from the event. So first place winners is the, let me get it right. It happens to be our robotics team, which I want to take a second to say thanks to their team leaders and their mentors, the robotics team, because they allowed the students to kind of shift their work hours, let's say, so they can make the actual event, the hackathon. So I'm glad to Mr. Van Pay and everyone else in that department for doing that. So, and I've told them so. So we got Nick Winkler, Jeet Patel, Paul Lennon, Amanda Meadis, I hope I said that right, Andu Akarthi, Christian Alcantara, Jarek Hussein, Thomas Reiner, Alfred Burson, and Joseph Hale. One of you can give me 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
So as new drivers to the road, we noticed that speed limit signs don't really account for all weather conditions, traffic patterns, etc. So we wanted to make a speed limit sign that changes very variably based on weather, traffic, the reasons I just listed off. But the pre-existing solutions use LEDs, but the thing is LED stop speed limit signs are not legal because they don't have the retroreflective coating that is required on all speed limit signs. So what we wanted to do was use an LCD screen to alter the transparency of certain portions of the panel so that way those that are completely see-through will show the retroreflective coating in the form of a number and the speed limit, and we used polar technology for that. So that was our...
Mr. Waltz, how are you going to power them?
Oh, we're going to use solar power, and also the LCD screens that we would use are latching, so that means you only have to provide power to them once to change the state, and you do not have to continuously power them.
Thank you. So we'll probably grab a picture outside. Is that probably the best way so we can keep it moving? And then second place is an interesting situation. Shama, did I say it right? Shama worked a little bit previously to the event and had to leave early for an FBLA event. She won second place. Can you give him just a 15-second what your project was?
My idea was like a device that uses urinary output to like diagnose different diseases. So that's
So. All right, and then the third place team we got Wesley Tunlius, Ryan Conley, Asvin, how do I say your last name? Ruganathan, Martin Walks, Matthew Kurosk, Owen Brown, and James Forbes. Give them a quick.
So basically, we create an app that will scan your social media before you go on it to see if you might have any potentially harmful messages. And basically, it'll give you a notification that'll say, what would you want to do with this? Sometimes things aren't that hurtful, so you might just want to read it, or you could ignore it, or even possibly report it to the social media just right away. So it makes things quick and easy and prevents cyberbullying before it even happens.
All right, so as you can see, those were 3 of the top 11, 12 ideas, incredible ideas, really great. That first group might not be the last you hear of them because I found out with the village planner that one of the mayor's goals this year is, slower driving in Gurnee. So you might see those kids pop up again. And, let me also I forgot to thank her too. The Gurnee mayor was back to, judge for the second time in a row, and it was great to have her. So thank you for everyone. Thank you to the Board of Education for all your leeway on that and support.
How many people attended?
There was about the same amount we had last year. It was a little over 100, like 110, at different times throughout the day. In a high school, it's very difficult to find 2 days where kids are available all day. So like the robotics team kids were in and out at different points of the day. FBLA came for a couple hours and then they left. And some people came late after there was an academic team competition. But it was pretty much the same demographics as last year. It was about 35% female. There was about 110 students. There were a little bit more than 50 or 60% Warren students. But we had Grant High School, we had Bolingbrook High School, we had Leiden, we had a couple other ones too. So it was overall it was a great event, and that number is nice. I mean, we were worried that if we got anyone higher, but 120 fit really nice into the gym. So thank you.
Thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Thanks to any parents who joined for that recognition as well. We transitioned to other parts of the meeting, so if you came just for the recognition, don't feel like you need to stay for the rest of the meeting, but thank you again for coming if you came just to bring a student, and congratulations.
Thank you. You're welcome to
A lot
stay.
of visitors' talks here today. Darn it. I like hearing people talk, address the board.
There goes our audience.
Yeah, well. Oh, please.
Okay, next item on our agenda is reception of the visitors. I did notice we did have one signature, so you're welcome to come up and speak. I'll keep track.
All right, thank you. I remember from my days in FBLA, so wanted to make sure I addressed that. My name is Charles Martin Jr. I'm a graduate from the Warren class of 2008. I am here to speak about the business program here at the school. I saw on Facebook from one of my fellow graduates from the class that 2 of the teachers in the program and the department are retiring, and there are currently no plans to replace them. And I'm here to implore you to, in fact, do that and more so, increase the size of that department if possible. When I was here, in fact, the last time I remember being in this room was when I was part of the President's Council here. I was on the Honors and AP track. I graduated near the top of the class. I was participants of the academic buzzer team, math team, hundreds of hours a year spent in FBLA, where I represented Warren on the national stage for competitions in each of my 4 years here. And each year, as I get now a decade upon graduating, having gone to the University of Illinois and graduated with 2 bachelor's and a master's in accounting and finance, becoming a licensed CPA, spending time using all the things that I learned here, I continued to learn more and more about how it wasn't the AP Lang course or the AP Calc BC course that I took that affect my life and every day. As much as I love Mr. Baker and Mr. Wytek, who are 2 of the best teachers that I had, though I know that's not always how other people see that, and I frequently thought they were 2 of the best teachers in their respective departments. The things I still use today are the 2 years of accounting that I took here. The resume that I developed in my senior year, which I in fact used in the last 6 months, 7 months now, to land a new job over at Walgreens Boots Alliance. I went on and I took my time as FBLA to start up a college chapter, the Phi Beta Lambda chapter, down with several of my other graduates, fellow members from FBLA, down at the University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign. And there are many things that I loved about my time here, but it was my time in the business program, despite being an honors and AP kid who knew he wasn't going to graduate as valedictorian or salutatorian, where I spent at least 1 period every semester taking a course from that department that still reflects and shapes who I am now. And hearing that that department's going to lose 2 more members, especially after I know Mrs. Walker retired some number of years ago, kind of breaks my heart that that's not being pushed. Because those are the things that people are going to use. Your intro to personal finance, where you know about where you learn about how to manage and budget your money. Your accounting courses, where people will take those and go to CLC and go work as clerks, or go do something else, or continue on to a 4-year institution. Those are the types of things that are going to change our future and make people employable, similar to the engineering push that I am hearing about from the school. So I hope you guys take that under advisement. I hope you replace the teachers. And I would love to come back in another, well, hopefully less than a decade, and see that that department's still going strong. Thank you.
Charles was the only person that signed up, but certainly if anybody else would like to speak, you're more than welcome to come up and speak. Anyone? Thank you, Charles. On to the next area, President's Report. So the first thing I have in here is an IASB Spring Dinner Meeting. So I open this up. It is March 14th down at the Mundelein High School. Dr. Algrim, was it fall that you and I went to that last dinner? That wasn't a year ago, right?
It was in
Like
the
September.
fall. Right, it was in the fall. They have a fall and a spring.
Okay, I'm not losing my mind. Okay, I'm thinking that was no way that was a year ago. So I guess anybody on the board is certainly welcome to attend that dinner. Just we'll let Jean know.
I just got the invite in the mail.
Yeah, I went to the one my first time last fall, and I thought it was actually a pretty good dinner. Good speakers, and
The topic, I think, at this meeting
nice to make a
is,
good connection.
college and career readiness, kind of a new framework of it that we've actually been working on internally as well as all schools have. So I think it'll be valuable information if any board members want to join me.
Next item is one item that I had added, and I would ask Mike. So we had our quarterly CEDAW meeting the other week, and we did hire and vote in the new superintendent over there. Mike actually knows her, so I asked Mike if he wouldn't mind giving us a little bit of Valerie's background.
I've known Val for about 13 years now. Outstanding individual. Started as a teacher at CEDAW, moved up, did some in a supervisory position at CEDAW. Currently, she's out at Wakanda High School, serves as the associate superintendent. and she'll be starting July 1 at Cedar. I think she's going to be a fantastic educational leader for students with disabilities. It is the first time that it will be a woman taking charge of Cedar District. So I'm very pleased to see her coming on, and I think she's going to do some wonderful things. Her background with students with disabilities, she's been an advocate, and I think that CEDAW is going to go in another direction with some different leadership with her guidance.
Thanks, Mike. If I run into her too, which I'm sure I will, I did put a little input in there that I thought it used to be very helpful when the CEDAW superintendent used to make, an annual trip out to here, just to, or even every 2 years, just to make sure you guys are aware of the programming direct from that position. So hopefully Val will start that up again.
She's a very down-to-earth, very outgoing individual, makes herself readily available.
And then the last item was the item that I added, kind of a standing, any topics that you guys would like to see added to the next board meeting. Just, if you think about it, we can just add them, let Jean know or myself, and we can get them added to the agenda. So, committee reports.
We had a parent-teacher advisory committee meeting.
We had our annual meeting. I think it was a good meeting, very productive. We went through our handbook, looked for some input from parents regarding our communication with them and any ways we can improve. We got some feedback in that way. Most of the time we were talking about our different discipline parts of the handbook, and we agreed to get some legal advice from our attorneys, which we are in the process of doing that in order to make sure that we are compliant with Senate Bill 100. And then a larger group will get together in, when we had that, the handbook. About a month, and we'll bring some of that stuff to that handbook committee when we look over the whole thing.
Moving on to the superintendent's report.
So up first, we were, in one of our leadership meetings, Chris is going to take the lead to show a little bit about some cameras that we were introduced to, and the reason we wanted the board to be aware is just because the conversations that started to happen were athletics, but they also had to do with community awareness and exposure for our kids and opportunities. So we at least wanted to show the board what we were looking at, just in case we just started to go down this road. Chris, it's all yours.
So I'm going to pop a couple, show you guys a couple of videos of the product that Becky's going to talk about here. This Pixel-Lock camera. Becky and Mark have done a ton of work to get this, do research on this, and raise it. We think it's going to be an incredible resource for our kids. So I want to show you what it does first, and then Becky will kind of talk through a little bit more of the details with it. All right, so the first thing, so this is, and this is Tom, our vendor. And so he brought, this is the camera right there that
Like a birdhouse.
Well, there you go.
Full filter. Yeah. So it's places out in the stadium or in the competition gym, and this is the video that it takes.
Rotates on its own?
Top of the press box in this particular stadium.
Okay.
And there are no moving cameras on that. There's four or five lenses, and there's moves between those, so while it looks like it's panning, nothing is actually moving. So that's what the soccer looks like, and then...
Unmanned, Chris, so that's the right value of it, right? It
Yes.
just sits
Completely unmanned.
Wi-Fi enabled kind of thing? Is that what we're talking about?
It's wired.
It's wired.
It's wired.
We'll get into a little
Okay.
bit more of the technical
Yeah.
side of it.
Okay.
But it does require a network connection.
Okay.
But it's not wireless, it's a wired connection.
Okay.
And then this is what it would look like, what the video feed would look like in the gym for like a basketball game, for example.
Yeah. It kind of fixates on the ball, and then it just follows along. And you notice, because the camera's still, it doesn't jump around. It's very smooth.
And it totally, and again, you can, and this is unmanned, nobody's working the camera. You turn it on, you turn the program on, and it takes the video and streams it.
How is it monitored if it goes down?
What's that?
How is it monitored if it goes down? How would you know?
It's a live stream, so you could have it up, but then there's also, you have settings where you can post it after
So there is
It'd be very
someone,
few events
yeah.
where someone wouldn't be there that might notice it and hopefully troubleshoot it if need be.
And we wouldn't necessarily be up in the computer room, might be in the gym, but we'd be able to have it even on our phone. You know, and we can look and see if, you know, if there is a problem, but the hope is there wouldn't be, right? So, but as, you know, Chris said, this is fully automated, there's no people involved with it. It's, when it's set up, you know, behind where the internet is, there's also a computer. So say for football, you could take your schedule, you could just program it in, what days you want it, what times you want it to start, want it to finish. You don't have to do it every single game. You could put in your schedule ahead of time and it's automatically going to go at that time and finish at the time you say it's at. And it's live feed, and it's also, you can watch it, you know, it would be through our website, and you can also watch it as a replay. And we can adjust the replay. Like, there might be coaches that say, well, I don't want my game replayed for a few weeks because I don't want our opponents to see it. And we could adjust that. It's a great benefit, really, for our athletes, our coaches, our parents, anyone really in the Warren community. Coaches can use it. You know, it's just not for parents, fans, whatever. They can use it for viewing, but coaches can break it down. They can use it to kind of get a kind of team or a tight fit, just kind of game highlights, and they can get individual player highlights. You know, they can use for helping coaching, you know, practices, things like that. Some of the individual player highlights could really help our athletes in the college recruiting process. You know, we can make little individual videos that highlight some of the things during their games or their competitions. And it's not just for football, you know, on the football field, it's not just for football and soccer. You know, we got boys and girls soccer, we got boys and girls lacrosse. We can put band out there, doublettes, color guard, and any activity that we see fit to be recorded and live streamed on that field, we can do it. And same with, yeah, go.
Sorry,
That's right.
this for just one camera, or are we gonna, there would be multiple
There'd
for
be-
simultaneous events?
There would be, our goal is to have one at the football field, and it would be placed above the press box, permanently fixed, and one in the main gym. And that would be, you know, center court up high, and that would be, you know, for really anything we have in the gym. Boys and girls basketball, boys and girls volleyball, wrestling, you know, double-act competitions, anything that other competitions that we see, we can live stream in there. So we want to get 2 cameras, one in each spot. They have to be hardwired in the gym. That's something that we could do more easily than we can at the football field, which Gio's going to discuss in a second because that's above me. And you know, there's obviously the cost involved. For streaming it, they have 3 packages basically. Like someone, like if Willie wanted to do it, she could get a monthly package, you could get a season package, or you could get a yearly. And that ranges, varies from school. Some schools will charge lower and pay part of the cost, some will charge higher, try to make a little money off it. And it goes anywhere usually from around $90 to $60, $70 for the yearly. Now, a couple schools in the area have what they've called open access, and they're paying the entire cost so anyone can view it at any time with no cost. And that's about $3,000 for the entire year. The cost of these, if we want to get 2 systems, both of them, they would be about $9,000 or approximately $4,500 a piece. Okay.
Compatibility with Huddle, Cube?
Huddle.
This would replace High School Cube for us. So this is a separate service. I mean, High School Cube has its limitations and spotty streaming. This would replace that. So any event we would have. And the nice thing about this, like Becky talked about, it comes with a desktop computer with software that runs the camera all loaded onto it for us. So we can get the desktop computer that's hardwired into the network. It also comes with the audio setup that you would need to run with it, so a mixer board, an input board. So you can run it with just the regular audio from the stadium, or you can plug in, and if we have kids that wanted to do broadcasting, we could have it plug in, and kids could sit down and do broadcasting with the microphone and headset, things like that. So there's other ways for other students to get involved. And one of the problems that we've run into with things like that in the past is you had to have students to do the audio, students to run the camera, a complicated connection to get to the video onto the computer, and then having to try and piece working together to get it uploaded and streamed out to the internet. With this product, we have to be hardwired into an enterprise network. So that means we have to have, like, we can't use a jetpack out in the stadium. We have to be on a hardwired connection.
The gym won't be a problem, but the field's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
One of the things, if you remember, board, for those of you, and I don't know if it came up at the general board or if we talked about it at the facilities study, one of the things we were talking about was just the fact that right now, we were investigating a way to get, right, wires down to the stadium for a variety of reasons, right?
Right.
And we were we had enough, like, we had some good reasons why we wanted it. We were just like, the price tag, we don't want to make sure that we get enough bang out of it for what we needed it from. And so we just wanted to bring that, it kind of adds more value, obviously, because having the wiring down there would obviously enable us to do some things with this.
And Rico's looking at a few scenarios right now. I know they've done, Rico Hill done a ton of work, kind of looking at different ways to get the internet out to the stadium. And in talking to Tom, we can do it with a point-to-point network, a wireless connection, where we can put a switch out in the stadium and then hardwire the device into that. You can also do it with we have fiber, we're actually pulling cable out there. You can do it that way. So there's a number of different scenarios, whatever we end up figuring out is the most cost-effective, most realistic way to approach it, but there are ways for us to run it.
Well, it's one of the things that's obviously a priority. We know, obviously, we know, like, I'll use football as the example. They probably get some exposure, and it's probably not hard for Coach McNulty to have people filming and all that kind of stuff. And so some of that gets, obviously promoted. But we have so many kids that are playing out in the stadium or in our gym that it would take away an obstacle for our lacrosse coaches, right, to make sure that they're getting some video of their games just so that the parents or grandparents or whoever could have access to the kids. So sometimes some of our major sports get some good coverage, but some of our underlevels and some of our secondary sports, if you will, they just don't get the coverage. And we were just thinking it just seems like a great exposure tool for a lot of our activities. So we at least wanted to share it with the board when we tripped out to it. So.
Do the costs include all the hard wiring and everything, or is that an additional cost?
We would install, we would have to do the installation ourselves. Tom, is the wiring that we need, is that?
Everything's included that you'll need for installation, just as school.
And then tech support, is that included?
Tech support's included. And any updates to the software.
Remind me, what area schools have it, Mark?
Lake Forest, Stevenson has picked it up.
Is it Waukegan looking at it?
Waukegan was looking at it.
Deerfield.
One.
Carmel Catholic just signed on board in this area. Yeah, so there's about 5 or 6 in this area.
And various approaches on the fine, like Lake Zurich, they're paying $3,000 so all their families, can watch it at no cost. Lake Forest, they actually, you gotta buy it, whether you buy the monthly, the season, or the yearly pass. And you can advertise it on it, if it, help cost to it, that's also a possibility. And it does integrate with our scoreboard, so
Yeah.
one thing we go back to the videos for a second, I should have pointed that out earlier, I apologize. Actually.
You had it.
I had it?
Yeah.
I left it. So it integrates with our scoreboard. So on this feed here, so down here, this thing right here, that's automated. So this is being populated from our actual scoreboard. So whatever time's showing in the gym or the stadium, whatever score's showing, that's just sending it right into the program, and that's all there. Nobody has to sit there and manually type stuff in.
Would integrate with both of our scoreboards, football and basketball, as of today?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the football stadium.
And I guess the newer version actually won't be there, it'll be up in the upper left corner because it's easier to not miss any action.
Well, they've switched things around. So, yeah, the score on the clock is going to be in the upper left-hand corner. If you want to have a sponsor, you can put a sponsor's logo down in the lower right-hand corner where the score is now. So,
What are we using today to record games? Anything? Or is it somebody behind a camera sometimes?
Well, we did it at
Up to the
football, we
team.
paid $100 this year to have the high school queue for our home football games. The other sports, they just use their own camera that they, purchase, and it's just the quality of what it is. So football's the only one that we use the queue to cover. And because I'm at the game, I never really see the queue. And I heard a lot of really good things about the quality of the filming and the quality as it goes out over time, is what I hear.
Would there be a way to monitor viewing traffic after it gets?
you'll have analytics to all the events. And just to add on to what you were saying about other sports maybe not getting some exposure, it's not just other sports, it's all sports at all levels. So it could be freshmen, could be JV, could be boys, girls. Whatever's on your gym, whatever's on your field, the cameras will produce everything. So it's pretty amazing.
What about renting it out for use to the youth football league? Could that be an option to help offset some of the costs?
It can't be, that they program and put it in there. I don't see why, I don't know what the interest would be.
That's if there's tackle football below 8th grade.
It will be.
Probably could possibly run into with that is if we're on a pay-per-view type access. Being able to view that, then you would, if we're renting it out to them, then asking them to purchase a subscription to Warren Township High School to view that. But if you're open access, that might make a lot of sense. For sure, so.
And from our first gut reaction at it, obviously, having open access would probably be something we would want to strongly look at, right? Just because, obviously, it's just more exposure, and then it doesn't become a haves and have-nots, and I want everybody to be able to see if they want to, so.
I was at the girls' beach when we won. We played Thursday at 7 o'clock.
Didn't want to share this, but we're going to continue internally to talk about it. Normally, we just thought because we had the opportunity to actually bring in the camera and show this to the board, we wanted to make sure that we did so just to.
I thought the camera was going to be on and that we'd all be up on the screen. If you wanted to close the deal, I mean, just saying.
Our board meetings at the stadium.
No, I mean, you did a great job. I mean, the nice thing is, all you have to do after the initial installation is just give us the schedules. We'll put them in for you. All the schedules get populated. 15 minutes before the game starts, the game will turn on automatically, films the whole thing in HD, and afterward it'll upload automatically to the site. So the school doesn't have to do anything after the initial installation, which is nice.
Tom, I have a question, because I'm not sure, if we are having an issue, is there a contact person?
Yep, several levels. We have our tech support, which is in Atlanta. They're there all hours of the day, but throughout the day, you can always contact me. I live in Naperville, so. But there's also an account manager who will be responsible for your school out of Atlanta. They're there to help you in any way that they can.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Other things, I'm going to ask our student leadership students to start coming forward. We're going to start with student council, I think, ladies. We get back to our PowerPoint here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so my name is Chelsea Tillman. I'm a senior, and I'm the head of Spirit Committee and Student Council, and the president of the Blue Crew.
And I'm Courtney Annan. I'm also a senior, and I'm the vice president of Student Council. Yeah, so we've been really busy in student council since the semester started. We just finished our turnabout, and the theme was A Night in Emerald City, and then we had a Spirit Week leading up to that, which is a sheet that was given to you all. And we had some really awesome decorations this year. We decorated Saturday morning before the dance, and we had a yellow brick road and a lot of green gossamer and green paper and some nice cool silhouettes. So it was a really big success. We sold almost about like 500 tickets or so it was a really big success.
And then one of the things that we've really been focusing on within Student Council for Spirit as well as Blue Crew is getting a bigger turnout from students to different games. So we started with the silent game this year. It's been a few years since we've done it. So the premise of it is that once the game starts, everybody's silent, and then once the decided upon point, which is a little outdated, it's the 8th point, basically everybody erupts into cheering, and it's kind of, a unique thing. And so we set it as a whiteout, and we are selling t-shirts for it. They're $5 for the whiteout stuff. And kids were really excited about it. Unfortunately, all the activities for the day got snowed out. So it's been rescheduled.
It was what? It
was a whiteout.
We jinxed it. And so it's been rescheduled to Saturday, February 17th at 6:30.
Take your spirit seriously.
And the Double-Eck are performing their guy-girl dance during intermission as well. So we're expecting a big turnout because that's a big thing. So we're excited to start that this year.
And then looking forward, we're in the process of planning Mr. Warren, which is a male pageant. This is our 2nd annual one. We started it last year, and this year we've been kind of trying to tweak things to make it better because last year was just kind of like a basic thing, and we have an informational meeting actually tomorrow where we're going to get all the guys who are interested to come to a meeting, and we're going to have them take a survey to just fill out their interests, and we're going to select people from there, and then we are going to notify them by Friday.
And we're really excited because it's grown from last year. Last year it was in the Black Box Theater, and we had 6 kids showing in the pageant. And this year we're moving to the auditorium, and it's on a Friday night, and we have like 20 guys that want to do it. We're really excited about, and there's even like a vetting process now. It's that serious, guys. And so last year we raised $2,200, and so we're expecting a lot bigger turnout. The boys go around and what do you call it?
They fundraise.
During lunch, they walk around with like their little milk jugs and like fundraise, and then there's also like the ticket sales that all go, and then student council matches it.
So all proceeds go to charity. So we haven't really narrowed down which one we're going to do yet, but I know last year we gave to the Staben House, which is a women and children's shelter in Waukegan, and that was a really big success. And we have given to them a few other times this year, like from our toiletry drive and just a few other things. But I think we're going to try and do some to them this year, but also if we get enough, we're going to try and bring in another, we're going to try and donate to another cause. So, yeah.
Thank you for your time.
My name is Pedro Hernandez. I'm a senior and the founder and leader of United Inform and the leader in the Lifestyle.
My name is Dorian Sauls. I am a senior and I'm one of the leaders for United Inform.
Hi guys, my name is Mufida Asmar. I'm a senior at Warren and I'm one of the leaders of United Inform.
Hello, my name is Matthew Schrader. I am a senior here at Warren, and then I'm also the vice president of National Honor Society.
And my name is Kevin Emmanuel Herrera, and I am part of UNI and a co-founder of UNI.
All right, and we were lucky enough to be leaders of the leadership summit that we had right at the beginning of the start of the year. And then, yeah, as you can see, a lot of freshmen leaders went, and a couple of us, since we helped out on it, and Avanza, FBLA, Student Council, mainly all the leadership clubs and organizations that are a part of Warren Township High School came, and we represented. We want the new upcoming freshmen and all the sophomores to become more comfortable with networking, becoming more comfortable with talking to other people, being upperclassmen, or even the teachers. And yeah, this was a little amazing activity that I've only had good positive feedback from. And an update on United Inform.
So at the start of the Leadership Summit, we had everybody gather around in the lecture hall. And we had a Warren alumni guest speaker, Garrett Conkin, come in to speak basically about how he became very successful, and he talked to us about his work ethic, his time management, his hard work, how he's very involved with the FBLA, and how he's very strong on giving back to the community. And he was not only speaking to the freshmen, but as well as the leaders of the different clubs about how it's very mainly important to manage your time very well, because you're not also working with your time, you're working with time on others, and how if you work hard, get involved with different clubs, you can form those leadership skills as well as become very successful just like he did.
So we had activities for them so they can act. So many of the things that we were talking about and many leaders that spoke about in their 1-minute presentations were risk-taking, diversity, teamwork, and service. So with risk-taking, I talked to the group, and basically what they told me is that they had like 10 strips, and each one would toss, the paper trying to make it in the bin. And it just shows like how much are you willing to take that risk, to not be safe and stay up close, but to be far back and go for it. And then with diversity, I was actually part of that group, and we had dots. So not the dessert, but like dots on a piece of paper, and they had to connect all the dots using 3 lines. And what many people didn't know is that I was giving out hints, and then I told them, think outside the box, think outside the box. People thought I wasn't being literal, and I was. So it was more about thinking about what you would normally think of. Like my opinion could be different from yours, and vice versa, because everyone here is right here very diverse, and we all have different opinions. And then for teamwork, when I talked to Becky Holcamp and the rest of the leaders there, they told me that they did a human knot. So they were trying to untie the human knot, but also see who takes charge. Who's that person who's gonna say, hey guys, let's do this. And the person is gonna be like, we got this, we can't give up, we can keep doing this. And in the mediator, like keeping all their spirits high, making sure we're all okay, like no one's getting frustrated. And then in the service group, they had a service video about how it is to provide service in your community, and they had a group discussion about that. And then now it's on to Matthew.
All right, so kind of like Mies was saying, we had different leaders from different organizations like FBLA, National Honor Society, United Inform, and a lot of those other leadership organizations. And we thought that it was very important for us to kind of give personal testimonies about our experiences as leaders in the community and at Warren. So we had things about like time management, commitment to goals, empathy, self-confidence, persistence, and I actually talked about fearlessness, which is why I'm up here talking to you lovely people. So we just thought it was very important to not only talk about our own personal experiences, but to reach out to the upcoming freshmen and sophomores to really push them to step out of their comfort zones and kind of step into those leadership positions.
So the summit was great. Unite and Inform update. So we had our 1-year anniversary, and just a quick reminder, Unite and Inform is a place for all races, religions, sexualities, genders to feel welcomed and have a space to share their opinions and their stories. So we had like our members put a handprint up at our board to show that like we're all in this club and we're all here together.
Yeah, that's a picture of Mr.
Mr. Perry.
Mr. Algrim, you participated as well.
So our recent topics have been, we had a discussion about LGBTQ plus community. We had Pride Club come in and answer questions that people weren't sure about. And we also had a discussion about Palestine, where the students could like share their stories of the Palestinian conflict. And then we also had a mashup with both Unite and Inform clubs at Oak Plain and Almond. And we're trying to work with the Oak Plain campus to let their Unite and Inform grow also, because we want the transition from Oak Plain to Almond to be better and smoother. And then we're soon to be talking about Black History Month. And then Warren Township High School Diversity Retreat. Go
go ahead, Niece.
Yeah, the retreat is something that's really unique and special to us since Mr. Perry came up to us and asked us, hey guys, do you guys know any like leaders or leader qualities that some like juniors possess that you guys want to see and put up to the test? And the gentleman that comes in on late starts Mondays, he also came in speaking in United Forum, is actually heading the whole retreat with us. It's going to be a one-day, March 2nd, and we're just going to put the kids to the test and see how they strive to be the leaders of our new Warren Township High School.
Can I add something with United Forum? Also, I just wanted to mention with United Forum, since last year starting the club, our numbers have grown tremendously, and not just with students, but with teachers as well, and that's what we really want to promote, is because we do feel at Warren there is a disconnect between teachers and students, so if we can connect them together, that would also help Warren as a school. And last year for our numbers, we had roughly around 15 to 20 kids show up, and this year our numbers now are around 50 to 60 kids show up, just students alone, teachers is around, it varies from 5 to 10 teachers, but they still come, and even we've had teachers comment telling us that, you know, they've had students help them look at a different perspective that they wouldn't even think of, so it's really grown and it's really helped people, because there really isn't that space where kids can go to talk about social current issues. And it is hard, and it is hard for other teachers to talk about those current issues because nobody wants to offend anybody, so this is that safe place for kids, and it is really growing, so I just wanted to update the numbers as well.
And thank you guys so much for having our support.
Yeah, thank you.
And thanks, Mr. Moriano. Roger Moriano is the consultant that we've been working with, also parent in the district, and has helped us quite a bit, and you guys are awesome students. And Ms. Wilson's on that committee. She's a board representative to not only all of our diversity work, but particularly for Unite and Forum and the work we're doing there. You guys are, I tell you what, the things that over the last year, right, we're proud of a lot that happens, right? But what's happened with you and I, especially, and due to your leadership too, you guys stepping out and stepping up, it's really been incredible. So you guys should feel good and really good about that. So let's give them a round of applause. I want to remind all these guys, as well as about 10 others, right, that we have on April, I'm going to get to the page in a second, on April, the second meeting in April, sorry about that. Our second meeting in April, you guys will be back, right? Because we have one more presentation to the board about end of the year activities, and all of our leaders we're inviting back for that meeting. The board has seen a number of people come in at least 3 times during the year, and so that night all of you will be here together, hopefully. So thanks, you guys.
Can I make a comment real quick? So first of all, I just leaned over and told Mike, totally impressed. Totally impressed. I try to put myself back when I was a senior in high school, standing up in front of the school board and talking about what you guys are talking about. I don't know that I would have been there. I wasn't ready. So that is just, I'm just extremely impressed. You mentioned courage, and just, think about, we had a speaker tonight talk about the types of things people learn and how they use that later in college career and their professional career. What you guys are using and doing now, you're going to use your whole life. So just incredibly impressed.
It's really a great opportunity, for us to actually be here standing and speaking to you guys. Because me coming in my freshman year, never have I thought I'd be standing in front of the whole board making this presentation. So it's also been a blessing from you guys as well.
Thank you.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Just a few other things. I'm passing around to the board. Just kind of our formal note that we do have a makeup day scheduled for Friday, May 25th because of our snow day. So we'll communicate this. We'll start communicating this out to staff and public. We'll obviously have a calendar adjustment in IWAS in the system through ISB, but for right now we'll start communicating that out because we do know we'll have school that day. Also on our website, this is just kind of an informational piece each year. We just inform the board when we start posting on our summer camp opportunities, and so some of those are already up on our website. I'm sure a few more will be added over the next month or so, but I just wanted to let the board know that Those are on our website, and we do next week have a lot going on a few days. We have, before we get to Rock over there, we do have a committee meetings next week on Tuesday. We have a policy meeting at 4:30. That's followed by a 6 o'clock diversity meeting. That'll be in the library. And then on Wednesday, we have the Insurance Advisory Committee at 3:30, followed by our Solar Energy Committee at 5:30 that day as well. So we do have all 4 committee meetings next week. And the last piece of my segment is very, very important. We are fortunate enough to have Mr. Rodo here to help us.
There we go. Oh, do you have to go? Oh, okay, all right.
There you go. Rocco, it's all yours.
All right, thank you.
Did you want me to introduce you, or you?
No,
good to go?
no, I'm good.
Rocco's been our fine arts lead teacher for several years now, so he's gonna talk about art and music and maybe a little bit of the
Joins.
fine arts.
Mhm.
Or
The Live Arts Festival.
The Live Arts
Correct.
Festival. Okay.
7?
Well, thank you for the opportunity to speak to you tonight and just promote the Fine Arts Program. We're really proud of what we do and who we have and the students that have come out of our program. So I'll just quickly go through, just highlight some of the staff and what we're doing as a staff. I wanted to just highlight the fact that we have a veteran staff, and we've all been together for a long time, and that's really helped us. Now, at the same time, we've also had several leaves of absence where we've had some young people come in and sort of interject some energy into us and maybe give us some new and fresh ideas. That's been really good for us. But what I love about our staff, first of all, we get along great. We work well together. We're very productive every Monday, and I think we've done a very good job of navigating our students through what they really, really need coming out of a high school. We don't jump on every trend. We think we have a good core vision of what our students need. I think we give it to them, and the evidence will come out in some of this presentation. So we are all practicing artists and professionals, and we're in co-professional organizations. There's several listed there. I won't bore you with some of those details, but we continue to grow as a staff because of that. And that's something that I am really proud of. I don't feel like anybody on our staff is just sitting down and just taking it all in and finishing their careers off. It's not like that. So course offerings in the fine arts, in visual art, I'll just highlight the fact that we have 3 basic sort of spines. We have drawing and painting, we have digital art, and we have 3-dimensional art. Our digital art is probably the most popular thing that we teach. It's the biggest program that we have, and probably where most of the innovation comes. I mean, when you talk about, I teach ceramics, we've been doing the same kinds of things for 6,000 years, so there's not a lot of innovation going on in there. But in digital art, we're getting into a lot of that, and that's been really cool. So some of the things that we're proud of in our program, we have the Live Arts Festival, which I'll talk about in a minute. That's become a very big thing in our community, not just in our school. We like the variety of course offerings we offer. We are part of the state art exhibition it's down by, I still call it Comiskey Park. I don't know what it's really called now, but down by Comiskey Park, there's a gallery called the Juby Gallery, and it's last spring, as a matter of fact, we had the top artist in the state of Illinois, Aubrey Chewin, who's a junior right now, and I'll show you her piece that's coming up. Ms. Knutson got us involved in the memory project. I think you've seen it. We weren't necessarily sure that you see the video, but I want to show you just 4 minutes of this 10-minute video, and we've done it 3 times now, and we get more and more participation. I've done it with them, and it's just like, it doesn't matter how many years I coach football, I need a box of tissue when I get these videos back, because you're just impacting these children that have been just decimated in their lives. So, and then at the end of the year, we do a raku workshop with a professional artist, which is really a fascinating thing to do. Carol's participated with me over the years. We've made some pottery over there, and I'll show you some of that. And then this is just a list of the art shows. We saw that Veterans Day was something that we weren't doing anything for here at Warren, so we saw a gap, and as an art department, we wanted to do something. And if you haven't had a chance to see it, our band performs from 7 to 7:30, just patriotic tunes. It seems sort of corny, but the kids love it. It's funny. They just gather around and they sort of get into it. It cracks me up that they're okay with it. So we play that, and we take portraits of our veterans that teach at Warren, and we display them on easels in front of the building. We've made banners, and we hang the banners up around the entryway, so it's pretty cool. So that's one of the highlights there. And then some typical shows that we do. The IHSAE is coming up, the state show, our conference festival, our live arts festival, they're all ahead of us. This is Aubrey's piece. I don't know if you got a chance to see this. Again, this is from last spring, but she was the top artist, and she's a junior now and still in our art program, and she's just an amazing artist. And Blick, one of the top vendors in the state, presented her with their top award last year with that, which is really cool. Yes, pencil. It's graphite. Yeah, isn't that amazing? It's just amazing. I know it looks like a photograph. So yeah, that's a great piece. Well, there's a long story. I don't want to get into it because we got a lot. You've had a lot tonight. We also participate in Empty Bowls, which is led by a teacher over at Woodland Elementary School, and she contacted us several years ago, and we throw 150 bowls in the ceramics room, and we donate them with CLC, and the elementary kids donate, and you buy a $10 bowl. You get to keep the bowl, and then Panera donates soup, and you get soup, and then all the proceeds are given to the Warren Township Food Pantry. So it's a cool fundraiser, and it's a nice opportunity for our kids to do a community service project. And we're working on it right now, as a matter of fact. A couple students of mine, and today we were throwing bowls this afternoon just to get ready for that. It takes a long time to throw 150 bowls on the potter's wheel. The Raccoon Workshop, it's always been something I worry about since the history of Warren Township High School. You know, having open flames like that has always been a nervous thing for me. But we do it right outside the art room in the back parking lot, right by all the administrators' cars, which is another nerve-wracking thing. So we talked to everybody about it. It's really a cool process. This guy, he's from Sweden. He's an amazing artist, and so our kids get to participate in this, which I didn't see in person until I was 48 years old. So it's really a once-in-a-lifetime kind of thing for kids, and we've been supported. Our administration supported us. It's $1,000 to get them in here for one day, and it's a great workshop, and it's really, really a cool experience. So it's a one-day, put your piece in the kiln. He lifts the kiln up, and it's glowing red hot, as you can see, and it's 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and he puts it in the pieces in these garbage cans, and it creates this atmospheric condition that's really unique. And Mr. Croonin brings his science classes down every year, and they run through there and watch, and he talks about all the science of it, which I'm not interested in at all. And so he loves that stuff. So it's been, it's really a cool experience for us. The music program, probably the most visible part of the fine arts, as we all know. So these are they're proud of their course offerings. We have a lot of variety there. One of the things that they've highlighted in their courses is that they've done a good job of partnering with athletics and activity, just getting kids to be able to do both and not trying to be so isolated. And that's a big change over the years that I've seen as a fine arts leader, and I'm really proud of that too. They're especially proud of the size of the program. There's over 500 students enrolled. They've doubled the jazz program. They have 300 band members, marching band members. That's been really cool. That's something they've really worked hard on. Notice that Mr. Gross was chosen as the Outstanding Chicagoland Music Educator of the Year, which is a really prestigious award. Last year, I was really proud of him for that, and he's come a long way, man. He's really a fantastic teacher. Symphonic Band won Class 4A under Mr. Gross's leadership. Class 4A at Super State last year. We haven't been there for, 6 years or something like that, so we made a reappearance there. It worked out with prom that we could go, and of course they came back with the top prize in the state. And then you can see some other things. Mr. Tribal just got back from Peoria, where he presented on our special ed music class. That's one of the things we were especially proud of, that we sort of evolved into to keep Mr. Tribally employed, and he's really fallen in love with it, and it's become a really positive experience for everybody involved, and it's kind of inspired a lot of us to look into opportunities to do that. So the fine arts, sort of the innovative stuff that is going on now, we're starting to do virtual reality and digital art, and then a lot of it in the music department, they talk to me about just the way they're instructing. They're trying to find better ways because they're a competitive group, and because of that, they don't veer very much away from what their core beliefs are. So they're trying to find ways to change how they're working with students and integrating with students, and I think that's where their integration or the innovation is happening. They're using technology to listen to audition tapes. They've used technology to change the format of the band, a marching band, which is interesting. And they're starting every class, Mr. Tribe was telling me, by starting with some music theory, which they hadn't done before. It's just been a performance class. They're trying to teach them more about overall just music development. So the Live Arts Festival started, this is our 7th year. We used to have an honor show. We wanted it to be more than that. We wanted to get all the fine arts on display in one night, just so we could just show the community what amazing things happen here every day. And it's become bigger and bigger. I think, 2 years ago we had one of our teachers kind of manning the door, and he was counting people coming in, and there were 4,000 people that came through the door that night. It was a big, huge event on a really crappy weather night. And it just gets bigger every year. We've had to expand into the gymnasium. We used to try and do it in the cafeteria and down the fine arts wing. And you can see sort of, we then invited the elementary schools, and this year we're going to invite the elementary theater program and the elementary choir to come over and perform with us, with the high school students. Just thinking back to when we were kids, how awesome it was to go to the high school and see the big kids doing stuff, and that was important to us, and I know it got me excited to see my sister in art. I couldn't wait to get to high school for that. We have a great partnership with my eye expert, Dr. Gandolfi, has been he donates about $10,000 to us to put this show together. In all, he buys every student a t-shirt, all the elementary kids. We have 25 kids from every art class that get in here. I mean, the number of shirts is unbelievable. American Outfitters works with us. They give us a great price, and they print all the shirts, and they separate them all by teacher's name, and it's just amazing what they do to get this thing off the ground. And Dr. Gandolfi, they have prizes for everybody and scholarship awards, and it's just an amazing deal. So the elementary part of it's been really cool. So there's some of the elementary work. We just line the spine with artwork, and we're going to try and get all the way down the hallway someday to the other end, and it's not far away, actually. We started inviting alumni artists back, too. So we set tables up last year. We had 10 alumni artists. We're hoping to have 20 this year. We want to keep growing that. And we're going to have our students interview them as an assignment and find out about what the world has to offer a professional artist, and can you make money, can you do it, and learn about that. That's going to be really cool. We set up workshops in the cafeteria, and it's just packed. It's crazy in there, and it's really cool. We have photo booths. We have a couple of local vendors come in. Our student council pays for one of the photo booths, and we have a local vendor sets up another one. We have our potter's wheels going, drawing, all kinds of stuff happening. There's a drum circle in the band room. And then we moved into the gym last year, and it was amazing. I was worried. Mr. Keeley suggested this, and he was right on. And I was worried that we wouldn't fill it, just who knows. It's just one of those things. And it was full on the entire night. The home bleachers were full, so it was really cool overall experience. So that's a fast version, so you guys can get out of here. But we're really proud of everything that's happening in the fine arts, and we think that our kids are doing fantastic things out there. Thank you.
We'll get those cameras, everybody will be alive.
That's right, we can use that. That's right.
The spirit of our fine arts department, by the way, I know all of you know Rockwell very well, but the spirit of collaboration and just care and genuine passion that's shown in some of our, he mentioned about our staff, but obviously in some of our projects that the kids do and all that, that's direct reflection of his leadership, and I just want to credit him for that, because that doesn't happen by accident. It happens because they're following a good leader who cares about people each and every day, works with them. So thanks for all you do.
That's evident. We'll move on to new business. First order is approval of the full year 19 tentative staffing plan.
And just as a reminder to the board, the staffing plan will probably, you'll have a few edits between, now and the start of the next school year. But we are down 500, a little under 500 students, and we've been working an enrollment and staffing plan over the last couple of years to mitigate the direct impact on positions generally within the district. But obviously, we're getting ready to move forward with our plans for next year, and so we think we've created a good staffing plan. And like I said, it will change. And these are broad brushes at numbers in terms of our staffing. Laura and Chuck at O'Plain do a lot of more smaller work in terms of individual schedules, which is something that Rocco actually mentioned at the back end there, which had to do with Dave Tribally. We had the opportunity to make sure we gave him an assignment somewhere where it was value added to the school, and it really turned out to be something that, in filling out his schedule, it really turned out to be a pretty important part of a lot of our kids' days. So that's a lot of the great work that's done by Laura and Chuck.
I'll move to approve fiscal year 19 staffing plan.
Second.
Motion by Munda, second by Conway.
Yes.
Mr. Walls.
Yes.
Yes. Next item is the recommendation for disciplinary action against students 2018-5.
Motion there.
I move, yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
move to approve disciplinary recommendation for student 2018-05.
I second. Juanita. Roll call.
Motion by Conway, second by Wilson. Mr. Munda.
Abstain as I'm the principal for the county's alternative program.
Mr. Walls.
Yes.
Mrs. Wilson.
Yes.
Mrs. Conway.
Yes.
Mr. Drake.
Yes.
4 yes and 1 abstention. Motion carries.
Next item is approval of the settlement agreement.
I'll
General.
move to approve the settlement agreement and general release for student 2018-06.
Second. Roll call.
Motion by Munda, second by Drake. Mrs.
Wilson? Yes.
Mrs. Conway.
Yes.
Mr. Walls.
Yes.
Mr. Munda.
Yes.
Mr. Drake.
Yes.
5 yes. Motion carries.
Next item is our settlement with Synovia. So I'll move to approve the settlement agreement and general release and waiver of claims with Synovia Solutions LLC resolving pending litigation.
Second.
Roll call.
Motion by Drake, second by Munda. Mr.
Walls?
Mrs. Conway.
Yes.
Mrs. Wilson.
Yes.
Mr. Munda.
Yes.
Mr. Drake. 5 yes. Motion carries.
Item is our hiring recommendations. I move to approve Exhibit A hiring recommendations number 136 through 154 as posted.
Second.
Any conversation? Roll.
Motion by Drake, second by Wilson. Mrs. Conway.
Yes.
Mr. Walls.
Yes.
Mr. Munda.
Yes.
Mrs. Wilson. Mr. Drake.
Yes.
5 yes. Motion carries.
Bills, I move to
Mr. Drake, we've revised the amount on the bills to $662,760.30. We voided a check.
Did you say 30 cents?
Yes. 662,760.30.
Okay. I move to approve the payment of the bills for February 13th, 2018 in the amount of $662,760.30.
Second.
Roll call.
Motion by Drake, second by Conway. Mr. Munda.
Yes.
Mr. Walls.
Yes.
Mrs. Wilson.
Yes.
Mrs. Conway.
Yes.
Mr. Drake.
Yes.
5 yes. Motion carries.
And the last item is approval of our minutes from last week, or last meeting. I move to approve the regular meeting minutes and executive session meeting minutes of January 16th, 2018.
Second.
Roll.
Excuse me, thank you.
Motion by Drake, second by Munda.
Roll.
Mrs. Wilson.
Yes.
Mrs. Conway.
Yes.
Mr. Walls.
Yes.
Mr. Munda.
Yes.
Mr. Drake.
Yes.
5 yes. Motion carries.
Adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Motion by Drake, second by Munda. Mr. Walls.
Yes.
Mrs. Wilson. Yes. Mrs. Conway.
Yes.
Mr. Munda.
Yes.
Mr. Drake.
Yes.
5 yes. Motion carries.
Meeting adjourned.